We have our first official 5 up and 5 down post NFL season. What this is, these are the 5 teams I think are going to get better, and these are the 5 teams I think are going to get worse going into next season. Now we're going to do it 1 after the Super Bowl. Obviously, that's this video. 2, we're going to do 1 after free agency starts to unravel. And 3, we're going to do 1 after the draft. Some of these teams are going to get better. Some of these teams are inherently going to get worse. Starting with our 5 up at number 1, no particular order, the Kansas City Chiefs. You have Patrick Mahomes. Do we know if Travis Kelce's returning? Does it really matter? 1, with how bad they were this year, their schedule's inherently going to be better. It has been a long time since they've had a draft pick in the position they have it now. You can go out there. I think they probably go edge rusher. I think your 1 shot at rekindling this team, maybe you got to let Chris Jones go. Now, I'm not a cap guru. I don't know if you even can let him go, what it's going to do to your cap situation. You have to find a way. You got to get some guys in the locker room. You got to go and get maybe a solid runner, maybe a solid wide receiver. You got to rebolster that O-line, which they're going to do a lot of that in the draft. But with Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, the return of Bieniemy, I think the Kansas City Chiefs can do nothing but go up from what they showed us last year. Chiefs at number 1. At number 2, the LA Chargers. The Chargers had such a bad downfall at the end of the season, and it is quite literally bottom of the barrel, bar none, bottom of the line, because of their O-line. They lost 2, and I believe full 100% wholehearted. Joe Alt is a top lineman, a top tackle in this league. You lose Slater. You lose Joe Alt. You lose virtually every one of your O-linemen. You lose your backup running back. You lose your starting running back. Your wide receiver isn't clicking because they can't get open because your quarterback has a guy in his face every play. The LA Chargers, I predicted at the beginning of the season to go out there and win the division, and they looked so good the first few weeks, and then injury after injury after injury after injury just kept occurring, and you can't sustain that. I think they're going to be right back in prime position. They are number 2 on our 5 up. At number 3, as much as it pains me to say this, the San Francisco 49ers are going to be legit. Just off top, all the guys they were missing this season. You didn't have Kittle every game. Your number 1 wide receiver didn't play a game for you, Brandon Ayuk. Your whole entire Ricky Pearsall's hurt all season. You're bringing guys in left and right. Brock Purdy's never healthy. The D-line's never healthy. Bosa's not healthy. Fred Warner breaks his ankle. The secondary's not healthy. This team fell apart at every aspect of the game, and they still won 12 games. Because Shanahan, I still firmly believe, is one of the, if not best coaches in the league. The 49ers are going to get healthy. They're going to continue to get better. They are number 3 on our 5 up. At number 4, the Detroit Lions had an off year. It was another one of those years where not only were they banged up, I knew losing Ben Johnson was going to be a massive, massive loss to that team. All you can do is just get better from here. You got to keep going. Jared Goff, over the last 4 years, has thrown for over 4,000 yards. 30-plus touchdowns every year, except I think the oldest of the 4 years was 27. It's 30, 32, 37. He's getting better. This team is getting better. You lose David Montgomery. I think David Montgomery is absolutely replaceable, especially when you got a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs, who I think is fully ready to take every snap in that locker room if he has to. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think the wide receiver core is going to get ready. There's some good O-linemen in free agency. There are some good O-linemen in the draft. This team is going to be okay. They're going to bolster the defense. I think they're going to make a massive splash in free agency. We'll see as the line goes down. I think the Lions are going to be back in the 12, 13 win range. At number 5, the New York Giants. Now, this is going to be an interesting division for them to be in the 5 up. You got the Dallas Cowboys. You got the Washington Commanders. You have the Philadelphia Eagles. That is always going to be a scrap for the top of that division. And all of these guys don't have to win their division. Don't get it twisted like that. This is just 5 teams I think are going to improve from what they had. in coming into the next season. The Giants got their coach. The one thing I think the Giants were lacking was stability at the head coach, a guy that can really bring a locker room together and create that chemistry. And he's been there, done that. He's built teams like this. Jackson Dart, Cam Scatabo, and I'm not even going to slight Tyrone Tracy, who's an absolute dog. You just got to get him going. They have a really crazy 1-2 punch at the running back game over there. Your wide receiver core. Imagine you bring back Wandell. Imagine Neighbors comes back fully healthy. You can get a stud like a Carnell Tate in the draft. That would be ridiculous. You bolster your wide receiver room. You have studs on defense. It really, I think, boiled down to they didn't have a coach that could keep that locker room together, and I think they got the coach. I think they got the quarterback. I think they have the running game, and I think they have the defense to bring it all together and compete for this division. So that's our 5-up. Our 5-up, Kansas City Chiefs, LA Chargers, San Francisco 49ers, Detroit Lions, New York Giants. Now our 5 teams that are down. At number 1, the New England Patriots. I get it. Y'all are going to hate it. They just played in a Super Bowl. How can they get worse? And I don't like to bring this up. The New England Patriots had the easiest schedule in the league since 1999 before their quarterback, Drake May, was even born. Why that matters is you get into playoffs and you're like, oh, we're playing these teams that have these good offenses and defenses. Granted, for the Patriots, luckily, they played one-handed Justin Herbert with no O-line. They played C.J. Stroud with no O-line, no Nico Collins. They played the Denver Broncos with a backup quarterback. The offenses they played weren't great, but you see the New England Patriots, when they get up against these defenses that are insane, turnover. Drake May can't get the ball off. Now, can Will Campbell come back and rejuvenate? Absolutely. He's going to be a really solid tackle in this league, and if he's not, slide him to guard. I think he has a lot of potential. I think this team has a lot of potential. I think the strength of schedule is going to humble them a little bit this year. Not saying they don't make playoffs, just saying I think they win 8-9 games. Maybe that I think the Buffalo Bills are going to be. I won't say back. The reason I didn't put Buffalo Bills up in the top 5 or up 5 up is because they really, I don't think they fell off. The Patriots just had that easy schedule and the Bills just had to play dogs all year. At number 2, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Mike McCarthy hire is why this team is going to be down here. And I'm not hating on Mike McCarthy. I thought Mike McCarthy would be an amazing coach for, let's say, the Falcons, let's say the Raiders, let's say the Giants, a place where you have to go in and establish a culture. Mike McCarthy's really good about establishing cultures. I don't know if he can be a head coach that can take a team. It really just feels like a lateral move. Like you had Mike Tomlin, now you're going to have Mike McCarthy, both culture guys, establish it. Really, I don't know if they think that Mike McCarthy being a change of scenery is going to elevate this team. Do you quarterback issues, run game issues? Like obviously Warren is a dog. Can he continue to stay healthy? O-line, old, D-line, old, secondary, old. There's just a lot of aspects to this Steelers team. They're trying to hold on to it. They need to go through a full rebuild. Mike McCarthy is an odd coach to pick to go through a full rebuild. That's just my position on that. At number 3, the Denver Broncos. Now, Bo Nix should be back by week 1. It was an ankle break. I'm sure he'll be full, ready to go by camp. Cortland Sutton is probably leaving this team. You got guys on defense you have to go and look at. The D-line, you got a lot of D linemen that are, I think, becoming free agents. You're going to have to pay them. They're going to be looking for money. Your running back room is not looking amazing right now. Granted, there are a lot of good running backs coming up in free agency, so I think there's a lot of things to look at there. J.K. Dobbins, just stud, can't stay healthy, has never proven to stay healthy. So I think the Denver Broncos are a good candidate for one of our 5 down. At number 4, the Dallas Cowboys. You just franchise tag George Pickens. You're going to be paying him about $30 million. You're already in a cap disaster. Your defense is awful. You're going to have to pay, I'm sure, did they pay Quinnen Williams already? I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure how many years he has left or like what that contract's looking like. He's going to want a contract. You got a lot of young guys I feel like are coming up on contracts. The defense is horrendous. You're going to have to build through the draft, and you're in a division with a team like the Giants that has a lot of young studs on it. You're in a division with a team with the Commanders with a lot of young studs on it. You're in a division with the Philadelphia Eagles, who just won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. And I feel like everyone in the division has the opportunity to get better, but I feel like the franchise tag on George Pickens, how much you're about to have to pay him, really limits what the Dallas Cowboys can do to get better this year. They're number 4 in our 5 down. At number 5, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This division is one of the worst divisions in football, and I get it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were banged up all year. Wide receiver core's not getting younger. Well, I guess it's getting younger, but what can Ibuka do going into year 2? Was it Mike Evans opening up the field for him? Is Mike Evans even going to return? Your running back game was decimated all year. Your line was decimated all year. You have one of the worst pass rushes in the league over like the last 2 years. Your number 1 sack leader is Vita Vea. That's not good, boys. Not a good look. I don't know what the Bucs can do to go out here and get better. They're really in, I would say, a retooling stage. Now, can they retool? I think Todd Bowles probably should lift. They're in a retooling stage. Can they retool to be successful this year? I think it's going to depend on the teams around them. I think the Falcons have a better, younger team right now. I think the Panthers are right there to have a better, younger team right now. So the Bucs really have to kick it into gear, figure out what they're going to do in free agency and what they're going to do in the draft. They are rounding out the bottom of my top 5. So, ladies and gentlemen, our down teams: Patriots, Steelers, Broncos, Cowboys, Bucs. Those are my 5 teams that I think are going to get worse this coming season. And then our top 5 are up teams. The Kansas City Chiefs, I think, will look better. The Chargers, I think, will look better. The 49ers, I think, will look better. The Lions and the Giants. Let me know your 5 up, 5 down in the comments. Don't forget, like and follow.